Hello everyone and welcome back to another election prediction video. Today I'm going to be doing an election prediction between Glenn Youngkin, the Republican governor of Virginia, and Roy Cooper, the Democrat governor of North Carolina. This is another viewer suggestion, and I thought it was interesting to do. I will also be doing, coming out tomorrow, I believe. Sometimes I reorder the videos, but a Jesse Waters versus Chris Cuomo prediction. Anyway, before I start this prediction, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are very, very close to 500, not very, very close, but we are on the cusp of reaching 500 subscribers. We're over 80% of the way there. And then once we reach 500, I can start making community posts and awesome, interesting polls that I would definitely be interested in making and sending out to all of you guys. Anyway, with that, let's get right into this election prediction. Safe Roy Cooper states. I think that he's a pretty strong candidate. And he's not one of those like establishment. I mean, I guess he is an establishment Democrat, but he isn't one of those mainstream Democrats that people really hate or that has any animosity towards him at the moment. Glenn Youngkin, I guess, at a little bit more of a disadvantage, given that he has that national recognition. Even though he won, he's just a governor in Virginia. I guess that could hurt him a little bit. Keep in mind when I make this prediction, statewide races are very, very different from national races. So you could see Virginia go blue and you could see North Carolina go red. I guess that would seem a bit strange because there's a Democrat governor, Roy Cooper, in North Carolina and the Republican governor in Virginia. But looking at national elections, looking in 2024, it definitely has a much different appearance than does a statewide election. Even though Terry McAuliffe tried to nationalize Virginia, it didn't really work out for him. Anyway, likely Roy Cooper states that would be the state of Colorado, really one of the only states that would be likely for the Democrats. Likely Glenn Youngkin races would be Iowa, Ohio, Maine 2nd Congressional District. Those would all be likely for Glenn Youngkin, and those would be the only likely Glenn Youngkin states. I see a lot of these states narrowing up for both of these people, given that I think that these people are very interesting opponents because Roy Cooper was seemingly able to win in a more tilted Republican state in North Carolina, Glenn Youngkin in a more blue state in Virginia. So, yeah, I think that you could see it narrowing up just across the entire country. Lean Roy Cooper, that would be Maine at large, New Hampshire, Minnesota, New Mexico, all would lean for Roy Cooper, totaling him up to 212 electoral votes in this election. States that would lean for Glenn Youngkin. Glenn Youngkin would lean Texas in his favor. He would also lean Florida in his favor. Those would be states that he would be able to pick up. He would also, in my mind, be able to lean the state of Arizona in his favor. I think that Glenn Youngkin would be able to win the state of Arizona by a lean margin. You see a significant Hispanic trend that has happened in the last 1 year. And if this continues into 2024, it would be detrimental for the Democrats, regardless of who the nominee is and regardless of the circumstances in 2024. If this trend continues, they will, have a very good shot of losing that election. But obviously, we don't know if that will happen or not. That makes it 230 to 212. No other lean states yet. Now we'll head into our tilt Democrat races, and I'll go back and forth with these, but Virginia, in my mind, would still tilt for Roy Cooper. Also, the state of Michigan would tilt for Roy Cooper. Glenn Youngkin would tilt the state of North Carolina in his favor. He'd also be able to tilt Wisconsin in his favor, Nebraska 2nd Congressional District in his favor. He would be able to tilt Nevada in his favor, gaining in that Hispanic support. Roy Cooper would be able to tilt Georgia in his favor. And usually, as it usually happens, it all boils down to the state of Pennsylvania. And I think that Glenn Youngkin, at this point in time, would be able to win the state of Pennsylvania. Things are looking very good for Republicans in 2024. This prediction is not, going to be the same throughout the next 3 years. But most of my predictions will have Republicans winning, even if I think it would be a close election. In this scenario, Glenn Youngkin is still able to pull it off. There really aren't, the Democrats' bench isn't really particularly strong. Glenn Youngkin, I think, could still win this election. And I think that he would win this election, if it were held at this point in time. 282, 256, a very close election nonetheless. Republicans are able to take back the state of Nevada, Arizona, Nebraska 2nd, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Although, Roy Cooper definitely makes it much closer in other areas than you would expect normally to happen, such as in a state like Texas or a state like Florida. Holding the state of Georgia, North Carolina, definitely tilt there, and even some of the Rust Belt much closer, able to hold on to Michigan. Anyway, in this scenario, Glenn Youngkin wins 282, 256, becoming the 47th president of the United States. in a big victory for Republicans. With that, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more awesome content in the future.